Now, I would like to get some answers like what you probably, what is teaching usually? Is it teaching and learning two different things? They are two different things. Teaching is different, learning is different. When you teach, do you learn or you just learn something and go and teach? So, what is, can I have some inputs about what you think about teaching? Can I have a chat or can I see some responses? What is teaching? What do you think about teaching? What is teaching according to you? Can I have some answers in the maybe you can speak up to the mic or you can put some
Our audience
answers
are
in the
very
chat
sharp.
box.
They will ask. They will tell.
Okay,
Please
okay.
respond,
They can
audience.
tell me what is teaching. Yes, sir, yes, please go ahead. Anyone, what is teaching actually? And what is learning?
Yes, audience.
Please go ahead. Exchange of knowledge. Okay. Any other response? Please
Can also unmute and speak.
speak. Yes. Sharing of knowledge, exchange of knowledge. Okay. This very two words
It's
itself are quite very different. Anything
saying that
through
he's
teaching, we have chance to learn new things. Okay. Through teaching, teaching completes learning. Okay. When you are completely learned something, you are capable of teaching. Okay. Just one more answer, one more clue, one more backup feedback about the word teaching. Okay. The first response we learn exchange of knowledge, sharing of knowledge. Yeah. The word exchange of knowledge and sharing of knowledge. These two are very, very different. Exchange of knowledge is different and sharing of knowledge is different. See how the words count, how important the words are. Yeah. Exchange means you give something and you take something. That's called an exchange, money exchange. Yeah. Exchange dealer. Exchange is something which happens like you give something and you take something. An exchange, kind of a barter system. But the second word, which meant sharing of knowledge, sharing is different. Exchange is absolutely different word. Sharing is something which you have and you give a part of it. You share with someone. So through teaching, we have chance to learn new things, which means like after learning something very completely, you become capable of imparting it, sharing with someone. You can teach it. And teaching completes learning. These four feedbacks I've got. Now, why I was talking very deeply about this words exchange and sharing. See, the words count a lot. The words exchange give us a great meaning. Exchange of knowledge and sharing of there are two different very things. Now, whenever we were talking about the planning, yeah, we not just for teaching, we need to plan for everything in life. We need to plan. There has to be a plan for everything that we do, for our everyday, day-to-day life, even things, we may not write it down in a paper or plan it, put it in the agenda, but certain things are planned and keep happening automatically. But for certain things, we insist, especially when it comes to teaching. Oh, teaching, pedagogy, a lot of technical terms. I don't want to use it now. There used to be one word some 2, 3 decades before. Now the same word has got separated into at least some 25 words, which means the same thing. Teaching, planning, that so many different words, but the same thing, teaching. I would like to tell you how many of you accept my view. Like if I tell you, is it teaching is like I take a cup of water, a glass of water, give it to someone and ask him to drink. Say, I'm a teacher, I have knowledge. I have a cup of water, give the student, come on, drink it. He's going to drink the whole cup, consume. Oh, my job is done. Very happy I am. I've done something, I've given him, he's consumed. Now, if this teaching is such an easy process, like I give it and he takes it and he consumes it. That's it. I've given it, done it. It's not so. It's not that kind of a process, which is like just I gave it and it happened. Teaching for three important things I wanted to share. For teaching, first and foremost important is originality. We have to be original. Sometimes back, I listened to one man who has taken feedback on the just one question: who is a great teacher? Who is a good, great teacher? And you know how many people he has put it to schools in Europe and in US? 26,000 responses. 26,000 in different schools, government schools, public schools, that 26,000 responses he collected and through and arranged them, and he says something about what is teaching. And you know what are the most important answer he got from most of the elementary and middle school students? A good teacher eats apple. So it looks very funny. What's the meaning of this? A good teacher eats apple. So what does it mean? This is the language of the kids, the children, elementary and the middle school children. See, me as a college teaching with the college students with 18 plus years, we are just seeing all the time students who have completely gone through schooling, 12 years of schooling, and they come to us and they actually represent their schools. They represent their teachers, actually, what they have been taught. Their behavior, their answers tells a lot about the schools, the kind of environment, what has happened to them, what the school has done to them, what the teachers have done to them. So, uh, we see a lot of uh, not very interesting results, not very good results, especially in college. Even from students from very highly reputed schools, also, they lack a lot of things. Most important thing that lack is the communication. For a teacher, when I said be original, see, don't think like for a teaching, I see teaching is something which is separate from my life, or because this profession, particularly this teaching profession, and that the two noble professions in those days, from they used to say two things are very noble, and the medicine, medical doctors field, and the teachers field. So, teaching is a very important profession, and it's a noble profession. It's like uh, I won't say imparting knowledge. I won't say important or sharing of knowledge. It's like it's helping someone to learn. Helping, like someone said that learning, teaching completes learning. That's a very true sentence. Like when it says like learning, teaching completes learning. When you have learned a concept very well, for example, some very difficult concept like Einstein's some theory or relativity theory, if you are able to explain it to a fourth grader, you fifth grader in a very simple term, it means that you have got that you have understood it very well. This is what I meant by saying it as being original. Be original means do not take this profession like any other profession. You are a physics teacher or a science teacher, or you should have a complete knowledge, complete. And these days of technology, information is available everywhere. Information is just available there. So if the student wants information, he can get information from everywhere. But being a teacher, we should be absolutely well prepared in our subject, very well prepared, because in the response which I said that earlier, the students get attracted or listen to that. First we have to attract the student, we have to make the student get your feeling, yeah, this class is very interesting, this teacher is something very interesting, the way he teaches or she teaches, they talk. For that, the originality of the subject, real knowledge is very, very important and absolutely necessary. Because most of the time, it's a very sad thing, many schools I've gone to, for inspection or other in some other in one instance or other for an interview board, or many times we have gone to schools, we find many teachers just very surface level. Tomorrow's class they just prepare because just 2 days back in some schools, one school we found the teacher, he, he or she himself or she herself is not at all prepared, but because when asked for the reason, she says, I have this problem, that problem. I said, teaching is a profession which is very, very special. Teachers should have a great, great emotional balance. You should know that you are completely balanced emotionally. You should never, ever get involved or bring your any other life pressure. This is not only in teaching, in every other job, this is the fact. So having the complete knowledge by yourself, you should really have it. Important. Why this complete knowledge? That's what it keeps attracting the students. That okay, this because when you do not have the knowledge of the subject, then absolutely it's not going to be an important thing. There's no use of planning. Whatever you does, it never works. Most important thing, you see nowadays we have so many publishers. We have got most famous, I think many people use Exceed and many other publishers. They say that we are the best publishers. We provide this, provide that, provide. As a teacher, you should know completely what that subject, which that particular publisher, particular book which you are going to teach, you should completely know that book completely. It's not that you learn only the if you, first term. Let me just learn about the first three terms, then about the next term. You should completely know the book yourself first, what the book says. Because very unfortunately, sometimes some books doesn't have any real good stuff at all in English language, especially, and in Tamil. And I have seen some books, some publishers, that lesson has got no stuff, no meaning. Some are like that. Some publishers are like. But so you have to know, go through the textbook and see what is this actually I'm going to teach you. You should have a complete about that particular textbook which you are going to share, and you have to see whether it has some defects, some faults. Is it correct, or does it have a moral, or can you just introduce a moral through this story? I really did come across some very recent textbook which has no moral, nothing to talk about, but that was a story. So in such a case, you have to at least talk about the vocabulary or something like that, or some mathematics, which is for fifth graders. So the teacher should know your book absolutely, what the book is from top to bottom, what is the book, your subject you should know. I'm just talking about the element and middle because that's the important time when the students pick up. So know your subject, be original. And second thing, as I said, stop teaching. Stop teaching. Don't be a complete teacher. When you think you are a teacher, see, you prepare, you do this, you go to the class, you have a huge, wonderful PPT preparation, presentation, you use the smart board, this. You are always thinking in your life, I done well. If there is a peer checking or a peer class, the principals come to the class or any other peer teachers have come, they will see that your class has wonderful, so much of information, PPT, explanation, audio, video at a different level. That's you have done your job very well, and that's right. But was there a connect? Was there a connect between the students? Students were able to pick it up. They did pass through. So you have to come to that eye level of the students. You have to think about learning as the students learn something. Just as a teacher, I prepared, I done my job well. Maybe some others may say, yeah, that was a wonderful job. But because you have to know the students' background a little bit. You should be knowing that. For example, in college, I had a student who never came for the first semester, at least for 1.5 months. He comes for a class, then disappears, sits in the class dull. So one day I called me, what's wrong with you? You look very good. It was very, he understand the concept. Even though he comes for one class, he will perfectly understand the concept. When I ask questions, he replies back. He listens. He never gets distracted. If at all he's in the class, he's not distracted. But otherwise, he's not attending class. So one day, what's the problem with you? Why you come to class? You seem to understand things are easy for you. But still, if you attend class properly, you will be doing far better in that. semester exam. What's wrong with you? Why you look some kind of dull? That the boy said, sir, my father has been arrested. He's in jail and some process is going on. So, see what kind of a mindset. I didn't know this. This boy, oh, I was thinking this is hanging around, but he has a huge problem in his family going on. But he comes to class, he sits and goes. So this is very, very important for the teacher to understand what kind of environment, what is happening. Yeah, I don't say that you have to go talk to the students, completely understand everybody's, but know at least some gray surface level what's happening, who you're dealing with, so that you can deal with. This is what is a learning. Then you go ahead with your teaching plan has to be with the with the student. It should have a connection. Like how learning happens, how people learn to drive a bike, for example, or learn a cycle. We never told them, see, you have to learn about the parts of the cycle. This is how a cycle works. You know, it has two wheels. Write an essay about the cycle, prepare some research paper about the cycle, do all this thing and bring it up. And I'll go through it. Then we will go to learn the cycle. This never happened. How to learn a cycle? We give a cycle, and as a parent, you would have taught cycling to your kids, like you just make them sit and push and help them with the balance wheel. Then you remove the balance wheel at them, blah blah blah. And learning happens. This is how really learning happens. This is how all the basic skills of life happens. So real learning happens this way only. This is how learning happens. So you have to give the students a feeling that this is place where I can really pick up things and very easily things happen. Not a very strict situation like. For this, a very good planning is important for the teacher. Whatever the background of the teacher, this teacher, we may have different issues as a teacher, but still, you know, this profession is part of you, so you have to be prepared well. And in teaching profession you do have a lot of time apart from when there is a vacation or even otherwise, uh, you have to make use of the time properly. But I do see some schools when we go around, uh, teachers do complain there is no time, I have to do this, that. But you know removing and having a time to prepare, or the school system has to be that in such a way that the teachers should have a good time. It's not that many schools have a lot of plannings. I have seen different kinds of planning formats, sheets teachers prepare every week. Some have a huge book which is for the planning, and the teachers fill it up every week's thing, and it goes on. All this is good, but practically it should happen. Originality should be there, and subject knowledge is highly important. Whatever you're teaching for third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and especially in lower school, lower elementary level, we see most of the schools, we see only women more. No, I mean, I can say I don't see any men at all. Yeah. So so you are dealing. That's an important time for learning. So a lot of B.Ed schools, you would have come across a lot of planning skills and how to prepare. As I told you, your level of thinking is different. You have to go to the level of learning, go to their learning. Then it happens. Yeah. So planning doesn't mean that have a chart. I would have to I give you. I can just show you a PPT, variety of PPT showing this is how you plan for a science, this is how you plan for a chemistry lesson, this is how you plan for your physics lesson, and all that stuff. But actually, what really matters, how you are in the classroom, in front of the students, how the classroom management and how you get it done, how you pass in session and make it as successful things for the students to learn. And they should know why they are learning, what's this. So it's also very important. So planning, when I meant planning, it's really you have that knowledge. If you have the real complete knowledge of the subject, is absolutely, especially when you go to higher level, 8th standard onwards, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The teacher has to be absolutely well versed with the subject. Yeah. That's very, very important. Being very knowledgeable. Just a beard or see, getting degrees. I've come to schools. I've seen in schools, at least three schools I've seen where the teacher has not gone through any beard, not done beard, but the performance is excellent. Performance is excellent. They perform in such a way that excellent performance, and the students learning everything's very successful. So that's because that's the commitment, the originality, the profession that you do. So that's happened. So even without beard, the teachers have excelled. There are three schools I've seen at least. In every school, not less than two teachers we have come across. Like no beard, they have not done beard at all, but their teaching is excellent. The way they prepare, they present, and the classroom, what has happened, the real learning, everything was very, very successful. So originality is very, very important. If you have the originality, deep, sound knowledge of the subject, planning is something very different. And the knowledge of the students group which you are with, what kind of students which I have, that's how you it will be very, very successful. These two things are very, very important. Subject knowledge and this group of students we have been dealing with, particularly you have given the fourth graders, the fifth graders, how many students pick it up fast, who are the students little slow learners, and how to deal with them. Yeah, little bit of their background and being very close to them and teaching. That's don't be a very strict teacher. This is how the subject knowledge matters a lot in your plan because you have planned for something, you have deep knowledge of the subject that you see it just happened very well. You can go to the next level and you will be able to go. And as I said, any big concept, this we discuss in colleges, we see professors, they, they take very hard concepts, maybe in economics, business, or even science background. If some of them they try to put it in simple language and they see if they are able to convey interdepartmental, inter subject, different subjects. For example, economics teacher, if he's able to explain a very huge concept to an English professor, like very in simple terms, and he's able to understand, then he thinks, okay, good, and this is very nice. I've got the knowledge of the subject. Yeah, you should be able to explain something to a very a very a layman, the concept, then which means you have really got it. You have got how to put it back, put it in place, and this is what I wanted to tell you. In my teaching experience, I've seen this happening, and the most important, I've been in 25 years with different boards. I can say almost CBSE, ICSE, IB, IGS, all curriculums I have seen. The most important different schools also I've seen. I've got experience with two different continents also when I was in army. All teachers, all teaching methodologies, whatever different names they call it by, basically this is what is the sound subject knowledge and the knowledge of the students and how you may create the commune, the connection, and the most important thing, I think I will not be able to talk a lot about it. Almost I'm nearing time. The communication power of the teacher. The most important thing, the communication power. How well the teacher is able to communicate the language is very, very important because that is something absolutely basic, very basic and absolutely needed. So you teachers should be absolutely, when we teach, we should be absolutely thorough with our communications. If we lack, we have to see that we improve it in the process of becoming a teacher or being a teacher. Have to improve our communication skills. That's very important. When I say communication skills, it's not necessarily all the time with English language. If you're teaching, that happens always in English language, it's an English medium. Yeah, you should be absolutely thorough with an English language. Or some there are schools we have seen Urdu medium, you should be absolutely thorough with your language. Or Tamil, you found it. Your communication power should be absolutely very, very fluent and absolutely good. That's very, very needed. And then everything planning, everything comes in place automatically. Yeah, planning is directly connected to the knowledge, basic subject sound knowledge of the teacher. That's what it means. When you have this knowledge implementing, you will find ways to implement it. Even without making use of any tools, you will be able to do it with a normal chalk and talk. Also, it is possible. Yeah, that's what I said, Salim sir. Also, sir, I'm not going to give you a lot of presentations, PPT, and talk about different hats and the teaching methodology. Information available everywhere. But the commitment to the mission and originality of the subject, you learn, you enjoy it, then you will be teaching. Stop teaching. That's what teaching, they say it actually. Renounce teaching. Be original and renounce teaching. Means you go and you don't feel like that I'm a teacher and you just done my job, we prepared, done, gone through the plan according to the plan this week I have done. That's not actually that's what not happening. So that's not going to produce a very good result. I hope I've almost touched my time. And thank you very much again. I don't know how much of good information I've shared with you in a short time, uh, but whatever I felt important, I've shared with you. Alhamdulillah, this is what I have seen in my all my teaching with schools and with the colleges and with British schools. I've been with Britishers also. But as I said, whatever the names and different names, different continent, but always the teaching concept, learning concept is the same all over. Whatever comes, AI or anything that's going to come, the thing is same. Basically, it's all the same. So originality of the subject is very, very important. That's what is my personal observation and I've done. And I hope may Allah bless us to understand this profession even more deeply and make us a very successful teachers and successful asset to the society being a teacher. Yeah, Alhamdulillah. I hope I would like to wind up, Salim sir.